first time he's speaking since dropping out of the Charleston mayoral race 3 weeks ago. And in this edition of Quintin's Close-Ups, I sit down exclusively with former Charleston mayoral candidate Paul Tinkler. Paul.
Hello, Quintin. Good to see you again.
Likewise. You know, the last time we actually saw each other was on Broad Street.
Yes.
That was 2 weeks ago. And you just dropped out of the race for mayor of Charleston. And I remember you going to lunch with Mary Tinkler. You actually said this on Facebook in the following quote: "Supporters, friends, and people of Charleston, after considerable thought and much discussion with my friends and close friends, family and close friends, I announce today that I am ending my campaign and withdrawing my candidacy for mayor of Charleston. I cannot fully express how much I have enjoyed the last year on the campaign trail, meeting Charlestonians and discussing the issues that affects us all." Tell me, how much did that decision affect you?
Well, first of all, I want to say that I have to thank my supporters for everything they did on my behalf during this race.
Yes,
I found out I had a lot of friends that I didn't know I had, and I'm really thankful for that. You're asking me, how did the decision affect me? Well, it was not an easy decision to make, but I had so many things on my plate with my law practice primarily, that I just made the decision. I had to decide, I knew what I had to do over the next 60 days to be competitive in the race, and I just made a decision that I couldn't do all of that. And so I decided I better focus on my law practice and my existing clients who I'd been neglecting a little bit, and that was the reason I made the decision.
Let me play hardball with you for a second.
Okay.
You said 60 days, and you were up against a couple of people from West Ashley, Leon Stavernakis and John Tecklenburg and Jenny Darren. Before you made that decision, did your campaign look at the numbers and say what?
Well, the numbers that I looked at suggested to me that I had a very good chance of winning.
Okay.
And not only numbers that I looked at, I'm talking about knocking on doors, talking to a lot of people, and I was getting very positive feedback. And so I really thought the chances of winning this race were very good. But at the time that I'm just telling you, I was in a trial of a case that's still not over.
Right.
And I had to put a lot of energy into that, and I had to sort of step away from my campaign in order to do that. And when I came down to it, I just realized that I couldn't do everything.
Mm-hmm.
So I decided to focus on one thing at a time.
And when did you know that you couldn't participate in the Charleston mayoral race?
Well, I made the decision, I started reflecting on it the weekend before I made my announcement to withdraw.
Okay.
So.
And you also said this on Facebook. However, campaigning and maintaining law practice have become increasingly more difficult to balance. Unexpected and significant professional obligations have taken my attention from the campaign and vice versa. I'm wondering, what was your secret to balancing it all?
Well, when I got in the race a little over a year ago, I made a conscious effort to try to narrow down my law practice and sort of reduce the number of cases I had in my inventory, so to speak. And you know, in my kind of practice, you sort of count on cases to be resolved and settled, but some of them don't. And in any event, you can't manage all that. And so ultimately, I made the decision that I made.
And you also said something interesting on Facebook, quote, "My campaign staff and supporters deserve a candidate who's fully able to give 100% to the race during the remaining 2 months. Their efforts and contributions have carried me this far and have given me a voice in this race. Their confidence in me is supremely gratifying. I thank them for all they have done for the betterment of this community. This election is shaping up to be a much better debate." Let me ask you the obvious. Who are you endorsing?
That's a good question. First of all, I don't know at this moment whether I will endorse anybody. I think all of the candidates have some good qualities about them, and all of them are sincere and wanting to do the best thing for the city. Some of them have, better qualifications than others. And I just need to make a decision about, first, whether I'm going to be involved.
Okay.
And then second, if so, on behalf of whom. And I know the decision has to be made soon because the election is November 3rd.
That's right. And speaking of which, you basically, and I talked to you about this on Broad Street, which was going to be my next question. If you're not going to run for mayor, which you're not, I know that Paul Tinkler is not going to be seeking his re-election in Columbia as a state senator. Will you actually take that turn and run for the state house?
No, I have no plans to do that.
Tell me, when did you reach that conclusion?
I never even considered it.
Okay.
I did run for that in 2012.
Right.
Senator Thurman won that race, and I got to hand it to him. I think he's done a good job. And I mentioned this to you before.
Right.
I was very proud of his stance on the Confederate flag issue, and I told him that.
Yeah.
So.
And you also said this on Facebook concerning the mayoral race. Most of all, I thank my family, Libby, Mary, and William, who have given me their unwavering support during this one-year quest. Charleston offers us so much. I can only hope that I have made my own contribution by giving our community some useful ideas. So when you were sitting down talking to my good people, including yourself, where were you emotionally?
Well, I was thankful then, and I still am, that I had the opportunity, first of all, to participate in city government as a representative of city council and in various aspects of the community. And I was glad that I had the opportunity to participate in this mayor's race. I think that I've raised some good questions that hopefully the other candidates will now pick up on and continue to advance some of those ideas. And anyway, I'm just very thankful.
Now, family speaking, when you sat down and talked to Libby, William, and Mary, where were you emotionally? Because it's, like you said, it was a hard decision for you.
Well, I think, it was a hard decision, and all of them were supportive.
Okay.
They were disappointed, but understanding. And so I think we've made the right decision to get out as a family.
Okay.
To get out of the race at this time. And who knows what the future holds.
And will Mary take a turn actually and run for Paul Tinkler's seat, maybe?
I would be doubtful about that.
Okay.
I know that her name has been mentioned.
Oh.
But she's happy where she is right now, and by all accounts, she's doing a good job.
That is awesome. So you are a very smart guy. You are heavily involved with politics. You love politics. You can't say no to politics in the future. So what's next for you?
I don't know what's next. I've got my law practice, as I say, that I'm working hard in every day, and we'll just see what comes down the pike.
Okay. Well, Paul Tinkler, it's always good talking to you. Thank you so much for your time.
Thank you, Quintin.
Thank you. I appreciate that.
Appreciate it.
Thank you.